In our last session, we explored how your brain functions as a prediction machine. It constantly anticipates the future based on past experiences stored in neural networks. These automatic patterns replay old interpretations, fears, and beliefs, creating repetitive thoughts that feel personal but are actually recycled from history. We use the example of an upcoming difficult conversation. Thoughts of discomfort, defensiveness, and rejection arise not from the present moment, but from projecting past similar situations forward. When we identify with these thoughts as ours, we enter the situation already emotionally charged. Our body language signals anxiety or tension, and the other person responds in ways that confirm the original prediction, creating a self-fulfilling cycle. Now let's build on that understanding and take the next step. When you stop automatically believing every thought that arises, you interrupt this loop at its root. The moment you see a predictive thought as just a mental pattern rather than truth or you preparing wisely, you remove its emotional authority. The thought may still appear. Your brain has been trained for decades to run these forecasts, but it no longer hijacks your nervous system or dictates your behavior. This creates space. In that space between the thought arising and your automatic identification with it, something very powerful becomes possible: choice. Instead of being pulled into the old emotional frequency, anxiety, defensiveness, dread, you can consciously choose a different orientation toward the present moment. You can meet the actual situation, as it is right now, rather than the brain's pre-recorded version of it. Practical way to begin practicing this. Next time you notice a familiar repetitive thought pattern showing up, especially one tied to fear, self-doubt, or limitation, pause for just 3 slow breaths. During those breaths, silently label what you're seeing. Thinking, old prediction pattern, replaying the past. You don't need to fight the thought or force it to go away. Simply name it for what it is: an automatic forecast, not fresh insight or reality itself. That small act of recognition creates distance. The thought loses some of its charge because you've stopped treating it as me or the truth. Over time, with repetition, this labeling becomes quicker and more natural. The grip of the old patterns weakens. Your nervous system stays more regulated. You begin to show up to life events with less preloaded emotional baggage. And here's what most people don't expect. When you stop feeding the old predictive cycles with identification and emotional reaction, the external situations often begin to shift too. People respond differently to you when you're not unconsciously broadcasting the frequency of past pain or fear. Conversations that used to feel doomed start to unfold in new ways. Opportunities that once seemed blocked by your own inner narrative become visible again. This isn't magic or positive thinking, it's physics. When you stop reinforcing the same neural pathways through repeated identification and emotional activation, those pathways naturally weaken over time, a process called synaptic pruning. New, more present moment-based responses have room to form. For your next real-world practice, homework until our next session, pick one recurring thought pattern that shows up regularly, something that reliably creates tension, limitation, or avoidance in your daily life. For the next few days, whenever it arises, do the 3-breath pause plus silent labeling described above. Afterward, just notice. No need to force change. Does the emotional intensity decrease even a little? Do you feel even slightly more space around the thought? Does your body feel less contracted? Bring those observations back to our next session. We'll look at what showed up and refine the practice from there.